This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
On a Monday morning, vocal maintenance days continue until Wednesday. Man, I was rooting for Muss. I was rooting for Muss in that initials matchup. If for no other reason than talking to him yesterday, and he's held down. He's awful at these radio games, and the spectrum of awful. What does that really mean? There's not a lot on the line. It's trivia. But he loves that Wilson Pickett song that you were just playing because a cinematic masterpiece, one of the great movies in modern American history, The Great Outdoors, released in 1988 with Dan Aykroyd and John Candy. We spent like a half hour just talking about that stupid movie yesterday. But at any rate, Muss loses. Sauce moves on. Good for Saucy. And that's where we start 9 to noon today because we're almost back. We're almost back. Vikings training camp. Members of the team reporting yesterday. More to report between now and tomorrow afternoon. And Wednesday, 9 to noon is going to be on site. We're going to be at the team facility in Eagan for our first live training camp show. And eventually they're going to put the pads on, and it's back together again weekend, and all of those things that are coming our way as Vikings-loving fans. But first, as we do typically Monday mornings, 9 to noon, courtesy of Hoffman Heating and Cooling, we do the weekend wrap. What happened this weekend? Lots of things, or at least a couple of things. Well, I want to start here. Royce Lewis, ×2.
Lewis a home run today. Can he add to it? You bet. Royce Lewis, a 2-homer game. So Royce with 2 hits today, 2 home runs. He entered the game with 2 homers all year, has doubled that total on one day.
Corey Provis and company, that courtesy Twins TV, appreciate that. The Twins won the finale yesterday in a lopsided affair. It was no Buxton yesterday. That part's sad. But Joe Ryan was cooking, and the baseball team cruised. Now, the only way, if you're just watching yesterday's singular game in a vacuum, is you're like, this is what we were looking for. This is what we wanted. This was mid-March, dream-weaving how this team might perform, how they might act and operate in 2025. And you saw yesterday. You got Joe Ryan doing his thing. Royce Lewis, if only for a day, and it felt like only a day. It was just a day, but he hit 2 home runs. And it kind of felt like he was coming to life. Matt Wallner homered yesterday, talking with Johnny Bones about it, John Bonus, last week, and just kind of factoring in how much offense were we going to be relying upon this season from the Correas, from the Royce Lewises, and the Matt Wallners. Hits a homer yesterday. Bader smacks one. Bader's like found money, it feels like, with the season that he's having. Relied upon way too much for a team still languishing below 500. But he hit one Castro with the triple. We dig all that as part of the weekend wrap, no doubt about it. But while everything looked right and felt right yesterday, kind of the same old story emerging from the break with our favorite 9. Chris Paddock on Friday. Chris Paddock spots the awful Rockies 4 runs in the first inning. Twins bats lagging until Buxton hits a solo shot, and then Saturday, welcome back, Zebby Matthews. Looking forward to seeing you healthy again. Can we get healthy with this pitching staff? The Rockies, they saw this. I think this is accurate, that they won their first home series of the entire season over the weekend. The very first home series of 2025. And the Twins, specifically the pitching staff in the first 2 games, the punching bag, an absolute bang box at Mile High. And you get ousted 6-4, I think, on Friday, and then 10-6 on Saturday. Ooh! Oh, but now we're headed to L.A. There's a reprieve. We're headed to Chavez Ravine to face Ohtani, the Unicorn, and the L.A. Dodgers starting tonight. Half the punishment, the masochistic part, is the 9-10 first pitch, and then we got to watch Festa try not to fester against Shohei Ohtani. Now, it looks like they short shift Ohtani. I don't, you're kind of a sad Braves fan right now. Brett Blakemore producing 9 to noon. Win a World Series in 2021. Chatted briefly about it last week. You feel like your team's got all the right names. Acuna comes back a month or two ago, so it's like, okay, we're back.
It was a throw of a lifetime the other day, if you saw that.
Yeah, that was just a straight bead from deep right to third base, right?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Acuna's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But he's part of a list of names, right, for a team that's underperforming. But with the Minnesota Twins, I don't know how much you follow the Dodgers in particular, being a sad Braves fan. But they kind of short shift Ohtani on the mound. So maybe we'll get 2-3 innings of him before he settles in at DH. Ohtani has to be considered among the greatest ever if he's able to stay healthy, keep doing both. He's a career, I think, in the 280s from the plate. Career ERA under 3. Probably not going to hit 700 homers, although give him time, he might get there. Definitely not going to win 300 games on the mound. But we get to see that starting this evening, doing both at a super high level. And I'm really, still, I'll be forever fascinated by how MLB markets their stars. I was talking with Bonus about this. I guess there's ads and there's marketing out west, in LA in particular, that are in Japanese. So trying to connect not just within the Dodgers fan base in SoCal, but connecting really for those global dollars and connecting with Ohtani's homeland. And I just wonder how, the average baseball fan, you and I, we're only going to get to watch maybe the best player in baseball, the most unique player to be sure. We're only going to get to see him a couple times a year. In this case, here in Minnesota, when we're out there, and then when they come here. It's just interesting. But in LA, Twins, Ohtani versus Festa this evening, the 9:10 pitch, the team 3 games below 500. So there's that, and there's this.
Scotty Scheffler for birdie at 18 to get to 18 under par. The moment awaits. The tap in. Scotty Scheffler. He's now joined the company of golf's greats. He is the champion of the Open at Royal Portrush 2025.
Scheffler wins his fourth in his career now. I believe only the U.S. Open remains on the table for him to complete the slam. It's kind of a boring tournament, to be honest, at Portrush. Fitzpatrick hanging around for a while. Haotong Lee was making people sweat a bit. Rory had a couple of moments. Wyndham Clark stopped vandalizing locker rooms. I think he went 6 under yesterday. So good day for him, charging up the charts. Wasn't good enough. Didn't matter. Scheffler crushed. I kept waiting, talking with Rocco about it last week and just kind of digging into this thing. I was kind of waiting for the fall apart moment where historically with the Open across the pond, there's always that day where the weather turns for 3-4 hours, and then suddenly people are, hitting 75s and just trying to get out alive, and then they're commiserating in the clubhouse with each other after the round, and people just start falling apart. It just didn't happen, specifically for Scheffler, man, crushing it. Bogey-free Saturday, had a couple of clomper moments yesterday, but he had built such a lead to the point. Even listen to that highlight. There was no drama. Misses the birdie putt, taps him for par. He could have tapped it 1 or 2 more times. Just to play around with it. And he was still going to be victorious. Never fell apart. People keep saying, golf has never been healthier with the talent on the tour and in these big events. And I'm definitely not one to argue that by any means. And maybe it's, how old are you, Brett?
28.
28, okay. Mm-hmm. So you're a bit younger than me, but you would have still been caught up in Tiger's prime, right?
Yeah, I'm old enough to have been.
Okay.
I've only started getting into golf the last 5-6 years.
Well, I think about it do you need to have a target at the top? Just for most of my life, specifically with Tiger, that you have a situation where every Sunday of a major tournament, he's lurking somewhere. Mm-hmm. And it's actually a career highlight for many, looking backwards to say, I got to go head to head with Tiger on a Sunday. That's what I got to do, and it meant the world to me. And you hear other pro golfers talking about, on his own, just the individual spectacle that he was. that the purses got bigger. Everybody started making money because of Tiger. And so you have, again, the average golfer, it sounds like, today would be more talented, and the ball striking's unbelievable. The distance is incredible. I've heard people argue in some ways that actually that can be a physically limiting chase in terms of just maxing out distance, but all the same, they've never been more skilled. Do we need Scheffler to continue? Is he that new? And, it's hard. The moment that Tiger busted onto the scene, and it just feels like, I don't know if it's a charm or if it's a character thing, but there was an allure to Tiger. I don't know who would be on the tour now, even Scotty, that could command people or captivate people in that manner. But man, he's so good. Do you need that target at the top? Does that make sense? Or is it just, as a rube, you're just trying to watch great golf across the board?
Yeah, well, I understand what you're saying. Do you need the guy, like the face of the league almost, or the face of the tour, the guy who's just winning all the time? I know the stat that's been thrown around is the first major to fourth major stat between Tiger. So Tiger's first major to his fourth was 1,197 days. Scotty's first major to his fourth, 1,179 days. 97 days, excuse me. The exact same time.
Wow.
So as far as, he's got a lot of majors to go.
How old was Tiger, though?
Well, that's a great question.
Felt like Tiger may have been doing it. I think Scotty's got to be 29 or 30 at this stage. I don't know how old Tiger was in 97 when he won his first one. Feels like he got off to maybe a bit faster start, which could lead to, again, the brand and the aura of Tiger starting so young and having that significant decade-long run really as the best on the freaking planet.
Tiger was 21.
Okay, so he was 7, 8, 9 years younger. And, who's to say Scotty, even though he starts at 20, so he was 27, 28 when he wins his first. Maybe this is the start of the run. I'm just curious if you're watching, for instance, as football fans, do we need the target at which we shoot at every single season? Whether it was Belichick and just kind of this dynasty that was built out east. Now you're thinking about Mahomes and the Chiefs, and they've been to 7 or 8 consecutive AFC title games. They're winning the Super Bowls and going to the Super Bowl as often as they have. Eagles bested them this time. Are you just flippantly, naturally going, the Empire's going to be back. Andy and Patrick will be back in that mix again. Do you need that target to shoot at? Would you appreciate parity at a higher level than what you typically see? Congratulations to Scotty, though. What an odd, weird stat, though. 1,197 days.
Yep.
Both of them. That's super cool. So that's 4 majors for Scotty. That's kind of the weekend wrap on things. Of course, I can't go to break without mentioning they reported to camp. Of the weekend wrap, I suppose. Reporting to camp. That's what we've been waiting for. We're almost back, ladies and gentlemen. Very, very excited to lift off this 9 to noon edition. At 9:30, Ron Johnson, thanks to TimberTech set list, timbertech.com. Ron Johnson's going to jump in studio. Fox 9, my partner in crime with Vikings Fan Line. We're going to chat football heavy for an hour. And then at 11 a.m., Lavelli Neal III, the columnist, little potpourri conversation. We'll jump into football. We'll jump into the baseball team, squandering myriad opportunities to take a series and get a couple of W's out in Colorado. Congrats on yesterday, but Friday and Saturday were disastrous. But Lavelli Neal III will be in studio with me. You've heard Brett Blakemore. He's producing the show next couple of days with me. And I'm Nordo. He's got a cash giveaway opportunity, and then we got some football talkers around the corner. It's Nordo in for PA on the Fan.
The Cash Thing, the Fan, and BigDeck.com. going to give you a shot to win bonus bucks with the National Cash Contest. Head to KFAN.com. The keyword is credit. It's the keyword credit for this hour. KFAN.com. Keyword credit.
App.
Minneapolis, get ready. Music legend Paul McCartney is bringing his Got Back tour to U.S. Bank Stadium October 17th. Tickets drop just a couple days ago at 10 a.m., but you can beat the rush. You can register now for a pre-sale. PaulMcCartneyGotBack.com. One night, one icon. Don't miss it. Full details, KFAN.com. Keyword calendar.
Couple of text messages, 64686, Bradshaw and Bryant, KFAN text line, always appreciated. Good, bad, ugly, it's all good. 9 to noon. Randy in Duluth, the question is whether Scotty Scheffler, of course, will get into a car wreck jeez, and deal with back injuries for several years.
He already got arrested, so...
He did. Well, was he arrested or was he just temporarily detained with the...
I thought he had the orange jumpsuit on.
I think maybe he did get arrested. Yeah, and, getting back, so I always wonder, and I've heard from a couple of people heavy on the golf scene, kind of the idea that when Tiger started really bulking up, when it really became, kind of chicks dig the long ball and we're just trying to crush it 330 down the fairway every single time, some people kind of attribute maybe the degradation of his health related to that. When he first started really going hard in the weight room, that led to some of the issues that he's had health-wise. Getting into a nearly fatal car accident probably factors into it as well. I got this text message. Scotty doesn't seem to have the Ambien-fueled tryst with Perkins waitresses to sidetrack him.
Whoa. A little more settled down.
Another fair point.
Yeah.
From decision-making and all of that. Scotty's got the baby on the course. Baby's got a blowout. The onesie's just absolutely just wrecked. And he's hoisting trophies and being a fairly new dad. So congratulations to Scotty. We're going to do some Vikes Bites here to kind of get in the mood here as I believe 40, whatever the arbitrary number is, like half the team reported to training camp yesterday, 9 to noon. We'll be in Egan on Wednesday morning. I know Ben Gessling of the Star Tribune is going to be in the mix, but we'll have some other tricks up our sleeve, certainly, as we get pumped up here for camp. Rest of the team should be reporting sometime between this very moment and tomorrow afternoon. So looking forward to that. And looking forward to Vikes Bites, which is brought to you by Thousand Hills Lifetime Grazed Grass-Fed Beef. Shop online, box of meat will show up at your doorstep. That's sweet. It's a local product, Clearwater, Minnesota's finest. But you can read about the regenerative agriculture and just the nutrient-dense food, and it's an elite product, too. A lot of people throw out, hey, buy local, and that's a good thing. But their end of the equation is that they got to provide you with something awesome, and that's what Thousand Hills does. So thank you to Matt and everybody involved, Coburn's, Co-ops, Kowalski's locations, Thousand Hills, Lifetime Grazed. What do we want to do with Vikes Bites today?
Well, I think we're going to go at least one talker from each NFC North team. And
NFC North Bites.
I think so.
Okay.
It doesn't really ring and roll off the tongue as good as Vikes Bites. We'd have to come up with each.
Vikes Bites is NFC North Bites.
Yeah, not doing it.
That hurts my voice a little bit.
But anyways, we'll start with the Lions, though, because they lost yet another player, a defensive lineman, Levi. I have no idea how to pronounce your last name.
Onwuzurike.
There he is. Tore his ACL, missed the entire season, which is just unfortunate, which adds to the list of people and players that the Lions now don't have for this season. Both coordinators gone, a couple of offensive linemen gone, defensive linemen gone. It just seems like it would take a lot for them to repeat the same record that they had. The whole spine of their team pretty much is gone.
Well, it's and maybe I'll get into this with Ron a little bit as well. I mean, he played in the NFL. He appreciated change in his career. He appreciated what the hill was like to climb back into shape after suffering an awful injury. So Ron's got some experience, and I think I might bring this up with him too. But how much change is too much? In 2017, the Vikings, you have the Minneapolis Miracle. You get thumped at Lincoln the next week. We know all about that. But then into the offseason, whether it was, what's the outlook on Teddy? Teddy makes kind of that ceremonial return. It was week 13 or 14 against the Bengals. Vikings blowing out the Cats. And Teddy comes back onto the field in relief. And you just hear the crowd. And it was about a 90-second long, it felt like that anyway, during a TV break, the standing ovation and applause at U.S. Bank Stadium. And so into the offseason, it's what's the outlook for Teddy? Probably not great. Case Keenum, of course, handling business. He goes and gets, I think it was a 2-year, $36 million deal from the Broncos. And it appears evident that I don't think Case Keenum was ever going to be an option. And there were, I mean, I don't know how much you remember this because you're completely tainted and poisoned by the Packers, Brett.
Correct.
But it was a massive talker local. There were enough people to cause a stir with the idea, hey, Case did what he did. Let's give him another shot. Let's bring Case back. But then the rat race for Kirk Cousins happens. And even kind of the murmurs around that started pretty early. We were doing nothing worse than getting throttled in the NFC title game and then having to do Super Bowl Radio Row for a week. So PA and I are there, and Charch is there, and Golden Tate's walking around trying to find some extra cash. He's wearing like a Hershey's chocolate football jersey. We had Marcus Mariota on talking about spam. So there's a lot of angles, a lot of money making opportunities during Super Bowl week, and we just got to sit there and we see the WIP booth, and it's all love, right? They're going to go and look what we were able to do with Nick Foles, and we're running flea flickers on people and the whole thing, and they would go on to win a Super Bowl in our building, but. That's when the murmur started, is Super Bowl Radio Row week. Just kind of the idea that the Vikings were very seriously in the mix from the people we were interacting with in terms of getting the services of Kirk Cousins. And the change that went along with that. We're moving into, at that time, the brand new glitzy facility on the opposite side of the metro in Eagan. And you're saying goodbye to Winter Park. You get the new QB in the mix, took a discount. Could have gotten $90 million to play for the Jets, but he was nice enough to take $84 to come play with the Vikings. I know a lot of Vikings fans; they care about that. Mm-hmm. It's not. It's what did Kirk say? It's not about the money. Dollars.
It's what the dollars represent.
Yes. How much change is too much change? Everything is changing in Detroit right now, and again, being close to it, I saw how different things were. It wasn't just a plug-and-play situation into 2018 for the Purple. And this has been unbelievable, from your coordinators getting head coaching jobs, position coaches leaving. You mentioned some of the personnel changes that have taken place. Mm-hmm. Probably still the best offensive line in the division, but they're kind of like the Vikings right now where they have some questions, and they need to see some people show up. They're pumped that they're going to have Aiden Hutchinson back. And not that Levi Onwuzurike was the absolute most productive, game-changing D lineman they had, but to get smacked in the face with that right as camp is getting underway. No, that's brutal for the kiddies. Where are we headed to next? NFC North bites.
There's NFC North Nuggets, North Shorts. Where we could workshop some of these from the Texans.
NFC North Nibbles.
Well, we could do that as well. Chris Hockey may have infected this computer that I'm using.
Ooh, black and blue barbecue. I like that.
Ooh, that's nice.
Thank you, Randy.
This website may, because I went to one of these Chicago Bears fan sites, and it might be worse than some of the stuff Hockey's looking up.
What were you referring to with Hockey? Wait, what would Hockey be looking up on that computer?
Mostly breasts and yoga pants.
Okay.
Mostly.
All right. So unique industry.
Yeah.
What might not be appropriate in a typical corporate environment has probably been on that computer.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen. Yeah. Anyways, this article talks about the running back room and how it's better than everyone thinks it is. And Swift is now a more mature player than he was when the Lions traded him.
Really?
Another opportunity, first and foremost, with everyone new, the new coaching staff, the culture, that's changing. You can tell that Ben has been doing a hell of a job so far. Day in and day out, everything he's doing is going to be better for the organization and this city.
Yeah.
And then Roshan Johnson is there as well to back him up. Your thoughts on the running back room? Is Swift a changed man because of one Ben Johnson?
Well, I don't think Swift is different. I think the offense inherently will be better simply because of his presence. It is that funny connection there where Ben Johnson rolls into Detroit. And it felt like one of the first moves they made is like, this Swift thing ain't working. And so they moved on from him. And now Ben Johnson has to say the right things. And DeAndre, wasn't the right spot for you at the time in Detroit. But now that you're here, excited that you're part of the operation, they'll have to sit down, they'll have a coffee and a chat, and it'll be fine. That will be, Caleb Williams is certainly the A topic for the Bears. There's no doubt about that. But probably the B topic for that offense is how they're going to support Caleb. Part of Caleb having an awesome second year, if you're in the Windy City, is Ben Johnson being able to do what DeAndre Swift and Roshan Johnson that he did with Mr. Gibbs and Mr. Montgomery in Motor City. So they, whether or not they're markedly better, we can say anything we want in mid-July. It's actually the fun part about training camp.
Yes.
It's all positive. It's all good. Of course they're better. And they got some 7th-round draft pick that'll compete and probably get a practice squad spot. But yeah, I think if you're a Bears fan, as much as we don't like the team over here, and maybe we'll chat with Lavelle about this during the 11, I think you should be super optimistic about DeAndre Swift in the upcoming season. You should be super optimistic about Roshan Johnson and how he's going to execute the run game there. There are so many reasons, and that's why I think the NFC North division, as we unload these NFC North nibbles or some black and blue barbecue on a Monday morning while it's raining outside, is each of our teams has myriad reasons to be really pumped up and think that they have a chance in this division. It makes it probably one of the toughest divisions, maybe the AFC North. I think the AFC West is just going to be straight up gunfight between Kansas City, Denver, year 2 of Bo Nix, and then Harbaugh with Herbert out in L.A.
Yeah.
Raiders still middling, but you have Pete Carroll there, so that's going to at least be a tough, ready, and game team. But yeah, I think the NFC North is going to be a dogfight for sure in 2025, and each of these squads, including even the stupid Bears, are going to have something to say about this division and how it pans out.
We need Big Voice Guy to say black and blue barbecue, and we'll see if that gets going.
I'll email him.
I'm trying to think. We talk Bears, Lions. We're not talking Vikings, so we're going to do that the rest of the show. Oh, yeah, the Packers. That's right. The next team that we got to talk about.
Gross.
So I found another corporate mandated list. Coaches and scouts ranked the NFL's top 10 quarterbacks for 2025.
Top 10 QBs.
And this is coaches and scouts, not media personalities. Coaches and scouts. Mahomes, Allen, Burrow, Lamar, Jaden, Stafford, Herbert, Goff, Hurts, Baker is your top 10. But then, below that are a couple honorable mentions, C.J. Stroud and Jordan Love. Here's Jordan Love's little paragraph they wrote from these scouts and coaches. At the end of 2023, quote, he was bleeping outstanding, an NFL personnel evaluator said. Play action on time, big arm, confidence. That shifted slightly in 2024 due in part to a week 1 knee injury, which cost him 2 games.
That's why.
It looked like it took him time to work through managing that injury.
Definitely the
coaches
injury.
and scouts said. These are coaches and scouts, Nordo.
Okay.
Another full season with LaFleur and more receiving options that they have drafted, and he'll be fine.
Okay. And that is North Nibbles. Black and Blue Barbecue. Division decisions.
Ooh.
Brought to you by Thousand Hills Lifetime Grazed Grass-Fed Beef. You got in about 45 seconds to your favorite team. That was more than enough.
I could have led with it, but
yeah,
I didn't.
Thankfully you didn't. That's Brett Blakemore doing an absolute fantastic job with everything except when it comes to conversing about the nasty neighbors to the east. All jokes aside, he should have a better season. Yes, the injury probably was a setback, but there are still basic, fundamental, mechanical mistakes that this person makes on a weekly basis. So does Golden, how much does he fix that? We shall see. You're still a double-digit win team, and it's irritating. So that's how I look at it with your squad at this very moment. Vikes Bites brought to you by Thousand Hills Lifetime Grazed Grass-Fed Beef. Ron Johnson is here, and Ron Johnson joins. Next, we'll continue football-heavy conversation, digging on our favorite team. And that's first hour continuing on 9 to noon on the Fan.
Save the day for the 36th annual Polo Classic. The preeminent polo event in the Twin Cities is back Sunday, August 3rd at the Twin City Polo Club. Get all the details now, KFAN.com, keyword calendar.
Nordo in for PA, 9 to noon. Couple more vocal maintenance days for the host. And joining me in studio now, my partner in crime for Vikings Fan Line. And I'm excited to be watching games that count eventually and taking your calls and texts and talkbacks via Fan Line.
Doesn't count?
Yeah, it definitely doesn't count. I mean, we'll if we'll have this talker. I mean, we do it every single year. Is how many drives will JJ get in the preseason? Right? Will we see Justin Jefferson? Will we see and we'll get to Addison, and there's some legal things that are taking place, and who's gonna replace him? But yeah, how many drives will the first team defense? We'll go through all of those things. But no, man. I mean, I'm excited for week one. It's going to be a late night. It's going to be prime time, but you and I will be here
at midnight. Yeah,
correct. Yeah. And the team's going to be at Soldier Field under the bright lights, and hopefully we're talking about JJ McCarthy getting his first win in the NFL. So Ron Johnson at the number 3, Ron Johnson, across various social media platforms.
Yep, Twitter, Instagram.
I know it's raining outside.
Yep.
And I know, given where both of us live, that this one lane situation
212,
on 212
they gotta fix that.
Is so awful.
Yeah.
And then, just in case you weren't demoralized enough leaving the West Metro, they get you with the one lane going back the other way now.
Yeah, my wife told me right away. She's like, "Wait, where do you have to go?" Because I had a meeting this morning at 8 a.m. And I literally scheduled it because I'm like, you know what, Nordo needs me. I was like, hey, can we move this meeting up to 8 a.m.? Because normally it's 9. I said, let's move it up to 8 a.m. I was like, I can only be on for like 30 minutes because of traffic. I was like, I got to get in the car by 8:45.
Yeah.
It's nuts. And they're like, where are you going? I'm like, St. Louis Park. They're like, it shouldn't take you that long. I'm like, it's going to take me that long.
It will.
And it literally, I got here at 9:28. I left at 8:45. And so it is so frustrating right now. But I will say I was on Highway 5. Literally, God intervened when the road buckled. Two cars behind me got caught with the buckle. So I actually saw the dude's car.
Wait a minute, when did this happen?
It was like a couple weeks ago. So that's why they're doing all this construction.
Are you serious?
They're cutting the concrete
I did not know that.
in underneath the ground to cool it off. It was that really, really hot, 98 degree, days in a row. The road overheated. So yeah, literally 5 buckled. And it just popped up, and so a car went airborne.
Oh man,
not bad though, but probably looked like a little Yaris or something, some small car, but
sure.
Went a little up in the air a little bit, and I was like, oh, and I thought it was a sinkhole. I was like, oh Lord, so I zoomed through, and I'm like, I got to get out of here. And then
you went post-apocalyptic.
Oh yeah, I was like, I'm out of here. This
pure
is
survival mode.
This is about to sink in, and we're all dead. They are gonna suck Eden Prairie into the earth, and they're gonna start over. It's like God is back. He's like, I'm tired of this. I'm about to let's end this. I'm back, my children. No, so then the next week, I saw them doing, and all they're doing is a guy with a saw. You know, he's just doing the little lines in every whatever mile, and then they're filling it in with something to help so it doesn't do that. So, yeah, it's crazy.
Man, I've seen a couple viral videos of roads buckling, and I had seen one actually in the spring, but it clearly wasn't this. But I'm just picturing, and I consider myself to be an attentive driver. Yeah. But like most people, and just like birds seeing shiny things, maybe I'm adjusting my radio, or my phone vibrates, and I'm like, oh, somebody calling me, somebody texting me. Thank goodness for Bluetooth, etc. But if you're sitting there just enjoying, I got my Yeti mug of coffee. Yeah. Just everything's going fine. Just keeping it cool, driving 45 down 5, just ready to seize the day, and the freaking road buckles, and now I'm wearing coffee.
Yep.
I'm probably face on steering wheel on the come down. What a disaster that would be.
It was. I was freaking out. I started hustling home because I'm like, I don't know what's about. I didn't know if all the roads were about to start doing it because it was 90. I think it was 98. But if they said felt like 102.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was bad because we had a softball game, and then I think we had to end up canceling one of them, or they had a heat advisory for the girls. It was a softball tournament because the umpires, there was an umpire, and I hate. It's not funny. You might want to Google this. I think the guy died. I don't know if it was here or somewhere else, but I know our umpires, every 5 minutes, there was a emergency 5-minute break between every softball game. It was the SNC Showcase up in Brooklyn Park and then Ham Lake area. And the umpires, they had to take a break. every 5 minutes. They made them take a break every 5 minutes.
I was down in South Carolina, sadly. Yeah, 61-year-old Mitchell Huggins.
Yeah. So our tournament had a mandatory 5-minute break between every single game. Did not stop the game. So like your time, just if you're losing time. But it was more important for the umps to get water and all that stuff. So yeah, so it was around that weekend because I remember it was hot. It was like, because we had to tell our daughter, you got to drink water. Like you cannot just be out here and think you're gonna be fine because the kids just don't realize eventually it's going to catch up to you. So, yeah, it was bad. But the road buckled. So, yeah.
But you found your way here.
I found my way here.
And after that,
but now 212 is preparing for, I don't know, to make sure the apocalypse doesn't happen on 212.
How many camps were you a part of as a player?
Five. So
5?
3 with the Ravens, Bears, and then the Washington Redskins at the time, now Commanders.
Yeah.
And then I did Tampa Bay's kind of like off-season thing, and then I ended up going to Orlando, playing Arena League for Jay Gruden because John was the head coach down there. So I did that for a year, and then I did Cleveland, so that was kind of camp. I did Canada's camp for a year in Calgary. So, I've done like 7 or 8 camps, but NFL 5.
What was your experience like as a player, kind of turning the page and getting ready for it? Like, what was that like for you as a player?
It was a fire hose. Had no idea what to expect. Super nervous driving to Baltimore from Detroit. Second year was a little bit better. I lived there, so I was there. But then that was the year I got hurt. So my third year coming back was the injury year where I had to all off season. I was rehabbing. I was running around. I had the meniscus deal. And so I wish I had done the JJ McCarthy. I wish I had done the full replacement surgery instead of just the fix to get me back in 6 weeks. Cause I'm still dealing. My knee doesn't bend past 90 degrees now. It's
seriously.
Just lifetime. I can't, my kids make fun of it. Like they're like, oh, dad has bad knees. You better stop running like that. Yeah. But no, I cannot bend it past 90. But it is what it is. I didn't know at the time, full replacement probably is better. I was 23 and I was the youngest receiver and we only carried 4 because we ran the crap out the ball. That was the Jamal Lewis 295 year. And so we carried 2 fullbacks and 3 running backs. We had Alan Ricard at fullback, and I don't know if you remember Harold Morrow. Oh yeah, that played here. He was a special teams guy, but he also played running back, fullback. And then we had a guy, I forgot his name, but he played for the Buffalo Bills. Used to have tobacco in his mouth all the time, but he was another big fullback. And then we had Chester Taylor, Jamal Lewis, and then we had one other back here. Remember? So yeah, we carried like 5 to 6 running backs. That's how much we ran the ball. And we had 3 tight ends. So we only traveled with like 3 to 4 receivers. And so when I got hurt, they're like, look, you got to come back quick and play because we only have 4. And so, that was the reason why I kind of let it go the way it went instead of getting the full and just being out for the season.
Yeah.
I just did the whole let's snip it up. I'll be back in 4 weeks. Because I remember going to Pittsburgh, which I don't know if you heard the podcast story from Joey Porter recently about this when he got shot. I didn't. Yeah, just check out Joey Porter's. I was there for this. And so hearing his side of it makes more sense now because our side of it didn't feel like that. His side of it makes sense, which it did happen. He did, he was about to get on our bus. The owners had to stop the Steelers and the Ravens from getting into a fight. Corey Fuller and Plaxico Burress were about to fight in the tunnel. All that happened, but it was because Joey Porter got shot and Ray Lewis didn't make a joke. But he was just like, Joey, I hope your ass heals. And it's like, and I think Joey took it as man, he's like, man, I'm playing there. Screw this. Don't make fun of me, So I didn't know that side of it. I could see his side of it.
Well, how much of that coming from Ray, too? I mean, sadly, he was kind of closely connected to an awful situation with Ray Caruth.
3 years prior, yeah.
So, there had to be, in your locker room, he's your teammate. He ingratiated himself, became a leader of the team. But specifically on arrival, there had to be at least a couple of Steelers hold on, man.
You can't make jokes about somebody getting shot?
We're still trying to find a cream-colored suit here, and you're getting loud over. You don't get to do that.
Yeah, I don't, again, if the defense, how you warm up 50-yard line, defense is over here, offense is over here. So we didn't really hear what was going on. We just heard it later because Ray told us on the bus. So we heard his side of the story. But now I get to hear Joey Porter's side because he's on, everybody's on the podcast now. Everybody wants to jump on podcasts and tell their sides. And he was like, man, I got shot. I wasn't supposed to play, but I told the equipment guy, man, I'm suiting up. And they're like, dude, you can't suit up. You just got shot. And so he's like, no, screw that. They're not going to make fun of me and talk about me and da-da-da. And then, he was about to get on our bus to fight Ray Lewis. He was trying to get to our bus because the owners made Ray stay on the bus. Steve Bisciotti was like, no,
Probably a
sit
smart
down.
play.
Yeah, it was like, no. Because, I mean, yeah, Ray was a guy, like, he'll put Vaseline on and get his wrestling shoes and say, look, it's going to be a fair fight, but if you want to fight, like, oh, yeah, I'll never forget. He did that in the locker room one time. He put on, dude, like, broke something, like his Bluetooth speaker. This is how old we are. Like, back then it was expensive.
Correct.
And Ray was like, man, you can buy me a new speaker. Because he had broke, like, the cord. And he's like, no, man. He's like, man, you just got $19 million. I'm not buying you a speaker. Like, buy your. And he's like, okay. He's like, Monday, when we get back for treatment, if I don't have a speaker, you meet me in the middle of that locker room. And Ray showed up with his wrestling shoes, the headgear, the Vaseline stuff. Like, he was, and he put the shoes in the middle.
Did he start stomping like he was
put the
walking
shoes in the
in
middle of the
M&T?
room, and he sat back, and then the dude walked in. And the dude had been drinking. I'm not going to say his name, but the dude had been drinking. So the Monday he got in, he's like, man, I'm just playing with you, man. Here's your money. He paid him for it. But yeah, like Ray was like, man, look, you're not about to just break my stuff and then disrespect me. And like, so Ray was like, he's like, I'm willing to fight for what I believe in. Yeah. Like if you got a problem. So yeah, so Joey, now I heard his side of the story. So it's actually a good little podcast interview about that. But now, because again, you never know if stories are real. Like in your head, you're like, did that really happen? Because football stuff, man, like, somebody else asked me, like, hey, do you remember that Iowa catch? And I'm like, dude, I don't remember half the stuff I did in college. Like, not say I'm, like, losing my mind. It's just, like, I don't know. Like, I don't remember. And so when I remember this Ray Lewis fight, Steelers thing, but I'm like, did it really happen the way we think it happened? Because so many different people tell the story. But yeah, Joey Porter told it the exact way I kind of remember. So I'm like, okay, that actually did happen. Our owners did stop Ray Lewis from getting off the bus to try to fight Joey Porter. I'm like, could you imagine if, like, in a social media era, though, if that actually could have been on a video somewhere of like Corey Fuller in the tunnel with Plaxico, and then you got Joey Porter at the Ravens bus. It's just like crazy.
It would have been a disaster.
Oh, it would have been a disaster. Like it would have been all over social media. Yeah. Like the NFL would have been calling for a sit down. And, fines would have been sent out. Owners would have had to it's crazy.
So I'm intrigued and I want to get. I in the end we will get to the Vikings, but you mentioned this the injury that you had. Yeah. So you did you have the choice because now like even now when we hear something specifically meniscus related and there's for me I would think maybe Adrian. Was that Adrian?
I know he had ACL. I don't know about what else he had.
I think it was 2016 where he had the ability to do the cleanup or the full repair.
He did the cleanup. And
so we talk about like it's a 6 to 8 week recovery time here. And now this has been, we're talking 20 years and you can barely bend your freaking knee.
Correct.
And just the power of information. So did they lay it out for you? Was it even really an option? It was, did they just sell a 23-year-old kid on a run heavy team where spots were tough to get? Like, hey, Ron, this will get you back more quickly. Yep. And that was just kind of the end of it.
Yeah. And they actually played. So it happened like in the first game. And so I played through week 9, which was the Chiefs. And the only reason I remember the Chiefs game was because that was the Dante Hall where we kicked it to him. It was a flag. And we're all walking back.
Is that where he ran backwards? And
yeah. It was the human joystick. It's actually on, like, I text Bart Scott because Bart Scott was the main one saying, like, he either said kick it or don't kick it. I can't remember. But Bart said something to our special team. Like, we were gassed. Yeah. And he was like, don't kick it to him again. And they kicked it to him again, and he took it back a second time. And we're like, why would you do that? We're tired. But that's the only reason I remember that was because I'm like, golly, Dante Hall's back there. Yeah. And, but yeah, that was the game for our bye week. So they said bye week, you'll be able to have surgery. And you'll be back by, week 14, 15 before the playoffs. And so, yeah, I believed in that. And I was like, all right, I'm going to trust these doctors and I'm going to trust. And, but again, information, there was no we had the internet, but it wasn't the same. Like you couldn't just jump on Wi-Fi and you had to plug in with a cord and, dial up depending on what house you had and all this other stuff. Yeah, it wasn't as quick to get to it, but I did Google it because I kind of felt like I felt a certain way. Like I did feel a little like, damn, I wish I had known this. And I Googled it back in 2003-04. That wasn't actually a thing. Like they didn't really know you could fully repair it and actually come back. It was thought of like, oh man, if we have to replace it, they treated it like an ACL where you might be done. So the repair in their mind seemed like the easier, less invasive, didn't have to open it up. Because now you don't even have to really open guys. I mean, I even talked to J.J. McCarthy about how he did his, but I don't think you have to really open guys up for that completely. I think it's more of like an incision, a slide open. Yeah. They go in and get it and fix it and fully repair it and sew it and put more cartilage to it and let it naturally grow back. And yeah, I didn't do it. I just shaved it down, took a piece off, and because I played like 7-8 weeks on it, it just kept ripping stuff because it would lock up. Like it would.
Oh, seriously?
My leg would bend, and they would have to reach in and massage it out to get it to unlock. And yeah, that was that season. And I came back though the next year. I was fine. I played. That was the Deion Sanders year. He came to the Ravens and then ended up getting cut. Went to the Bears, was there for that camp, got hurt again, same knee, kind of, diving for a ball against the Dolphins. And then stayed there for a couple more, like 2 or 3 more months, but never really got healthy. So I didn't get cleared like week 10. So then they just cut me then. And then went to the Washington and same thing. Just at that point, it was like, yeah, it's good. And then like, honestly, going to arena after that in Canada, not to say it's easier, but at my size, I was 230 pounds, 6'3". So in the arena league, it was just basically throw fades. Like me and my other guy, we led the league in touchdowns. Just throw it up. I'm bigger than these little DBs.
Wasn't it the Orlando Predators?
Orlando Predators.
Oh,
yeah. What a dumb name though. Think about that now. You can't even say Predator like that.
Well, you should talk about how dumb I am because one time, I can't remember why, but it was either for FanLine or you were going to be in studio, but I spent like a half hour trying to find Ron Johnson Arena League highlights. But I just ended up watching the intro. There was an Elite Arena League intro for the Orlando Predators. It's like 07, I think. And I just got to watch that for like 20 minutes.
Yeah, like I don't think there's a lot of footage back then. I mean, I've got some pictures people sent me, but yeah, it wasn't because that was the year. That was right before the NFL basically shut down the Arena League because the players like wanted money. Like the players wanted to share the ESPN rights. Yep. And the owners were like, no, we're not doing that. Because Ricky Foggy coached the Kansas City Brigade. So I remember that. I was going to go to Kansas City and play for Rick.
Well, and at one point, didn't Bon Jovi try to like resurrect it or something? Or he was an owner?
He was owned the Philly, soul.
Okay.
And then like Bernie Kosar was with Cleveland. Jeez. He owned, because he ended up bringing me in because I had a great game against Cleveland. And he basically like asked Gruden to trade for me to go to Cleveland. So I ended up in Cleveland with Karan Riley, another Gopher.
Yeah.
Greg White, Styles G. White. Now he was with Orlando, so I played with him. So yeah, so it was a wild ride of random owners. Whenever you go to a different city, you're like, wait, Bon Jovi owns Philly? Like, and again, I didn't really know, I don't think I can name a Bon Jovi song. I mean, unless somebody plays it, I'm like, oh, okay. Like Coldplay. I had no idea, like, Coldplay song. Like, I've heard Coldplay, but I've never heard a song from, like, you could not point.
You're not going to a Coldplay show.
No, definitely not. No. But my wife last night said that. She was like, it's like a whole meme thing. I'm like, yeah, it's pretty much all over. Like,
well, and it's all self-inflicted, too.
I wonder if Coldplay set this up, though, with this guy to just lose his job and we'll give you all the rights to, like, one of our songs or something. Like, like it's just too, like, now Coldplay, everything I do is Coldplay concert tickets. Every ad is Coldplay.
Well, I wonder if they just played it cool. Like nobody at the show, if they just are perceived on the big screen as just being yet another loving couple,
right? They would have just moved on.
Why would anybody post it on the internet?
Yeah,
and
the weird thing is if you look at there's a wide angle shot. This is the conspiracy theory side of me that everybody's just sitting down except for those two, and they're right in a clear like overpass hang. Like it just
they weren't hiding much.
It's just set up too perfect. So that's what people are like. Is this a plant thing? Then because everybody's like, have you ever heard of Astronomer before? Nobody ever heard of the company Astronomer. I guarantee their stock prices are going to go up now.
Well, people know it's a big exposure.
Now. Yeah, like it's a huge exposure. All these little companies, and now they're talking about her husband's the CEO of this other company, Rum something. It's like, wait, why are we talking about these companies? We're talking about the companies more than we're talking about. It's just two humans who made a mistake. Why is it such a big deal?
Right.
Like, it just feels a little bit like why are they just standing up on the glass? Everybody's just sitting down during a Coldplay concert, like. Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
And what if he resigns and the board gives him a little golden parachute on his way out?
Somebody was like, what song does Coldplay make you want to do that to? I don't know Coldplay songs. Like, I don't know. So I'm like, I don't know.
Okay.
I have no idea.
Maybe it is just we've been played yet again.
Maybe. Maybe the Vikings are going to have some like Cardi B thing when Stephon Diggs gets here now. Like it's going to just be the summer of drama.
I like it when you bring tinfoil to the studio. I appreciate that. That's Ron Johnson. At 3, Ron Johnson via social media, whether it's FanLine, he does bits for Fox, of course, Gophers plugged in there. It's Red Zone Ron, and he's in studio with me. We'll jump to the Vikings around the corner, though, as camp lifts off less than 48 hours from now. I'll be there with PA on site in Eagan and just pumped to see this football team begin 2025 training camp. We'll talk about all that as the second hour starts next on the Fan.